Oh, I'm talking and the mic's muted. Hey, what's up, chat? All right, so Nvidia at 130s went all the way up to 133, which I believe is. Let me see. Yeah, that's the lifetime high. So Nvidia broke lifetime highs this morning. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Yeah, we're here. I mean, let me drink some coffee. Where's the spy at? All right, let me drink some coffee. What's up, Freddy? Gamestop hitting 60 today. Mark this. Hey, we'll see, dude. What's up, Beach Bum? Sam. Let me drink some coffee, guys. I'm waking up. Hold on one second. All right. Yeah, Nvidia basically around highs. Let me see. I don't think we have any economic data today. We got like the Empire State Manufacturing Index. Not a huge report, but tomorrow we got retail sales. We might get some people here. We'll still cover it. Let me look at the biggest market news today. I haven't. All right, so AMC announced a private offering of 125 million convertible senior notes due 2029. I'm seeing this just now. Are they down or up? They got to be down on this news, right? I mean, they're sitting right at $5. ECB's Lagarde says the ECB is attentive to proper functioning of markets and will continue to be. JP Morgan credit card charge-off rate at 1.53% in May. What else we got today? Capital One made domestic credit card charge-offs at 6.13%. Oh man! All right. Look, Nvidia spike. Nvidia by 132. Let's see if it breaks the VWAP level. What I realized is that OpenAI is incredibly inaccurate. ChatGPT is incredibly inaccurate. Let me get rid of some of these. There's too many of them. I'll be like, yo, when does Jerome Powell speak again, excluding FOMC meetings? And it'll start hitting me with stuff from last year. And then just mirroring it for this year. Like if he spoke on June 21st last year, you know, it just starts listing those like he's about to speak this year. I'm sitting there like, come on, ChatGPT. You could do better than this, man. Do you think GameStop could squeeze again? Yeah, I mean, of course it could squeeze again. Kitty sold all his GameStop holdings. The stock price goes to quasi-zero, right? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so personally, but maybe, who knows? ChatGPT has real-time data. Watch. Let me ask it. So I was showing my kids AI, dude. I was showing my kids AI. I made a joke. My daughter asked me what movie we should watch. And so I told her Doo Doo Choo Choo. As a joke, like we should watch the movie Doo Doo Choo Choo, which from what my understanding is not a movie. But then I had AI make me a movie poster about it, and then I showed it to him like it was a real movie. It was funny. Does ChatGPT have real-time data? I'm pretty sure it does. As of now, I do not have real-time data access to the internet. However, I can use a browsing tool to fetch current information when needed. If you have specific real-time data needs or questions, let me know and I can use this tool. Okay, so yeah, basically yes and no. So they do not have real-time data access to the internet, but they can use a browsing tool to fetch new data. So you can ask it to fetch data. Yeah, AMC another 160 million or 125 million offering is what I see right now. It says, yes, I can look things up online using the browsing tool. Watch. Like, watch how bad this is. Look up the next Jerome Powell speech outside of FOMC meetings using this browsing tool. Watch how wrong it is. Be sure that the next one is actually scheduled. Even when I tell it this, it's still wrong. For 2024 and not just mirroring links. Alright, so look up the next Jerome Powell speech outside of FOMC using this browsing tool. Be sure the next one is actually it's June, right? Yeah, so it just gave me one from April 3rd of 2024. This is the next meeting, it says. July 11th, National Association for Business Economics Summer Institute in Washington, D.C. So yeah, that's the next meeting. Okay, that's actually accurate. Okay, well, that did good there, I guess. Correct. It needs to Google it, but you have to ask. I mean, like, look, it's pretty accurate, but yeah. So yeah, the next Jerome Powell speech is in a little bit less than a month. We do have the Fed minutes report. So I can't ask, when is the next FOMC minutes report? Today is 6/17. It says the next is July 3rd. So, yeah, it's pretty accurate. I mean, it's useful. It's not like it's just not useful at all. It's useful. But yeah. Alright. Today is June 17th, 2024. Give me the 10 biggest stock market stories for the day. Only in the United States. Or related stock market stories. Alright, so let's ask it. Today's June 17th. Give me the 10 biggest stock stories of the day. GameStop dropped. Shares have dropped 28% following the unexpected release of its first quarter 24 report, which fell short of analyst expectations. Company also announced plans to sell up to 75 million shares, contributing to the stock's volatility, according to Investopedia. DocuSign stock fell 5% due to concerns about future billings, despite slightly beating Rev. Company's guidance for next quarter raised concerns about growth. Lyft shares rose 6%, continuing gains from previous days after the ride-sharing company provided optimistic long-term outlook. Robinhood Markets extended its gains by 1.2% following the announcement of its acquisition of Bitstamp, a European crypto exchange company. So Robinhood bought Bitstamp, which is a crypto company. Nvidia shares fell 1.3% ahead of its 10-for-1 split. The split okay, so this is still late. This is giving me news from last week. It says the split adjusted trading will begin on Monday. This is from last week. Yeah, next FOMC. Inflation. Most of this seems accurate, though. When did Robinhood acquire? Let me look. Acquire Bitstamp. All right, so Robinhood acquired. Yeah, so again, this is recent. So this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Like, this is recent news. The only thing that was off one was the stock split for Nvidia. It says investors are eagerly awaiting upcoming economic releases, including the non-farm payroll report. Do you think I can lose all my money if I get all into GameStop? I mean, it's possible. It just depends, man. Nobody knows what GameStop's going to do. I like GameStop. I'm in it right now. I'm certainly not telling anybody to buy anything, though. So you got to figure that out yourself. There's certainly risks, but there's potential reward, I think, as well. So it's on you. Tesla down to 178 too. We're watching that. There's a SPY on the right. SPY kind of flat today. We do have the Empire State Manufacturing Index today, which isn't like a crazy big release, but it's still somewhat like important, you know. So tomorrow we have retail sales. Today we have the Empire State Manufacturing Index. Again, it's not a crazy big release. I don't know how much it's going to move markets. So we'll watch it, but yeah, I'm just looking at the news. This is the news by Toss. Okay, so yeah, this is AMC Networks. So you're correct. My bad. Yeah, I thought it was strange that it didn't move. But yeah, blame Charles Schwab News because they're the ones that reported it. I just copy and pasted their story. But yeah, so this apparently it's not AMC stock, it's AMC Networks, which is AMC X. And yeah, AMC X is dropping about $3 a share, about 20%. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't invest in GameStop because of the fundamentals. If you're going to invest in it for the squeeze is what I would say, you know. It looks like Apex got everything figured out. They were, yeah. Yeah, so this week we got retail sales tomorrow. It's actually a pretty slow week, which is interesting, man. I'm surprised. You know, earnings season's coming back sometime soon. We don't really have anything big this week. We got Lennar tomorrow. Or maybe that's today. Yeah, we got Lennar today. A lot of real estate related stuff. Kroger, ACB, Aurora, which is Aurora Cannabis stock. Nothing else big. Again, you can always see when the next earnings season starts by looking up when JP Morgan earnings, like bank earnings. That's when the start of earnings season is going to be. So the start of earnings season is going to be in a little bit less than a month. We're in the kind of quiet phase. Yeah. Yeah, so next week is a slow holiday week. Wednesday's market closed, but we do have GDP data and PCE data. Let's see what we got July 1st week. They should have it scheduled already, so ISM Manufacturing and Services PMI. Tuesday we got the JOLTS reports, July 2nd. Wednesday, we got non-farm payrolls or non-farm employment services. ISM Thursday, we got nothing, jobless claims basically. Friday, we got non-farm payrolls and unemployment. So yeah, that's a busy week. The first week of July, so not next week, but the week after. Yeah, I think the new futures contract is with a U, so it's for like the E-mini, it would be ESU4 instead of ESM4. So yeah, it switched, it rolled over. I'm pretty sure. See, I mean, the good thing is like you can ask AI, hey, did futures contracts roll over last week? And it's gonna look up what last week was, and it says yes, futures contracts rolled over last week. The roll date for equity index futures such as the S&P 500 was June 17th. This is in line with typical schedule where they roll date for equity products is the Monday prior to the third Friday of the expiry month. This means that the lead month for the future contracts is now shifted from June to September. So yeah, they rolled. Yeah, so futures markets are open June 19th, but the stock market's closed. You know, so the futures markets are open, but the stock market specifically is closed. Are you long on Nvidia? Yeah, I'm holding long position in shares. I'm holding shares of Nvidia. But yes, I am long in Nvidia, holding shares. Been holding shares since well before the split. Up really nicely, to be honest. So yes, I am. I'm in GameStop. I'm in AMC as well. You know, I'm not gonna be too specific about positions, but I'm in Nvidia, GameStop, and AMC if it makes you feel better. Long holding shares of all of them, and I've been in these positions for a long time. Quad Witch this Friday, is it? Let me look. Yeah, so this is where AI is useful when you got to query anything. When is the next Quad Witch? Next Quad Witching Day is June 21st, which is this Friday. So yeah, Friday is Quad Witching Day. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not really a big futures trader, RLP. I'm not really a big, or not a future. I trade futures. I'm sorry. I'm not a big penny stock trader, bro. Like most penny stocks, if you're investing in them, they're scams. Like realistically, they're not all of them. Like I'm not saying there's not a couple that you could find that are good. Most of them are crap, though. You know, unfortunately, a large majority of them will fail, and they talk a lot of new traders that don't have that much money into investing in terrible companies, and they just get taken advantage of. And it's just gonna, most of the time it's much better to just buy up blue chip companies with smaller size, you know. All right, guys. So I hate slow market is now. Yeah, it's the middle of summer though, brother. You know, so like the market's typically so slow during the summer. Like the busiest months for the market are usually well known to be the fall months. So like October, November, December, January are probably the 4 busiest, like most voluminous, hyped up months for the market. You also get some interest around like early in the year. Summertime, like you got to think of what big time hedge funds and traders and investors are doing, right? And analysts, right? Most of them are going on vacation. They're going to the beach with their family. They're not staring at charts all day. And you know, so yeah, typically during the summer, it's a little bit slower. We just get a little bit slower action. It's all good. Apple might have killed. Yeah, I'm in Apple right now as well. But my portfolio, look, I'll list it because people always ask me about it. I'm in Apple. But my portfolio includes Apple, Airbnb, AMC, Alibaba, Chewy, Salesforce, CVS, Delta, Disney, Etsy, Ford, Gold, GameStop, Google, Home Depot, Honeywell, Intel, Coca-Cola, MGM, Netflix, Nike, Nvidia, Pfizer, Palantir, Roblox, Shopify, Snapchat, Snowflake, SoFi, SoundHound, Target, Tesla, Tyson Foods, Uber, Walgreens, and Walmart is my current position list. Again, I'm not telling you to buy any of these. I have no idea what you should do. This is just what I'm holding right now. You know, yeah, it's a mix of swing trades and investments. So yeah, it's just what I'm holding right now, chat. I mean, I'm not going to go through too many percentages. Yeah, I'm not going to go through too many. What's happening today? Nothing really. Yeah, I'm not going to go into too much of, you know, I'm not, again, that gets to me, the reason I'm not doing that is because it gets too close to like telling people what to do. I don't want to tell people what to do. I'd rather just keep it stress free on my end. Again, I'm not telling anybody to copy me, not an investment professional, not liable. If you lose, do your own thing, make your own assessment, figure out what you want to buy. Not telling anybody to buy anything. I'm green on this portfolio. I'm very green on it. Up 1,000 plus on this portfolio. You know, everything else doesn't matter. PayPal. See, I invested and really it was a swing trade in PayPal. I rode it from like $50 up to $60 something a share, and now it's dipping back down, and I might buy it again. But yeah, so I rode it from like 50, like low 50s. I think I got in at like 51s. I rode it all the way up to like 63 or something like that, if I remember correctly, and I sold it there. And now it's dipping back down to 60. It's not cheap enough for me to really want to buy it, but I'm thinking about it. No more CPI, PPIs, etc. Not this week. So last week we had CPI and FOMC. So, you know, last week we had a bunch of stuff. This week's a little bit slower. This week we have, just in terms of economic reports, we've got Empire State Manufacturing at 8:30 today. We got a couple Fed members speaking. We got retail sales data tomorrow. That'll be big. Retail sales data tomorrow. We got a bunch more Fed members speaking. Business inventories, industrial production. The market is closed on Wednesday this week. So Wednesday, the market is closed this week. Thursday, we get jobless claims, housing starts, building permits in the Philly Fed Index. Friday, we got services and manufacturing PMI. So yeah, kind of a slower week, for sure. What's their prediction on Tesla, Bo? I'm in Tesla. What's their prediction? You know, the reason I like Tesla, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. The reason I like Tesla is because Tesla, you know, people look at it like, oh, selling cars. Number one, the Cybertruck is hot. People like to buy it. People want it. It's a status symbol. You know, every time Tesla breaks down or breaks through some type of really cool car, it turns into a status symbol. And again, I'm not talking about what Elon, sometimes people get so emotionally wrapped up and like politics and all this different stuff, that me just saying I like Tesla stock makes them mad. Again, I disagree with a lot of what Elon is saying online. I think it's bad for business. It's bad for anything selling people, anything that's selling consumers products. It's bad to get too one-sided politically. And I think Elon has gotten really one-sided. And so I disagree with him. I think he needs to be quiet. But outside of that, I think Tesla I think their vehicles are status symbols to a certain extent. They do really well in revenue and sales. They make a bunch of money. And I think the more important thing is that they've invested a lot into FSD, full self-driving, AI and algorithms. And I think that will keep them really safe if, I think the obvious thing is within 10 or 15 years, cars are going to be driving themselves. And once that happens, like in a broad way, like once that's adopted, and that might take time, and that's why I'm giving it about 10 or 15 years, because I think we almost have the technology now. But once it's adopted, I think if Tesla positions themselves correctly, which it looks like they have, they'll be on the very front of that technology boom, right? Specifically FSD, full self-driving, driverless vehicles, robo-taxis, which are supposed to debut later this year. I think when that happens, if Tesla continues to do well on this, they'll be on the front of that, and that will prime them to do really, really, really well into the future, right? Like, that's my guess. But again, the risks are that Elon won't stop talking about politics stuff online, and again, if you're really into politics and you base your identity around it, that might, make you happy or whatever. I gotta be neutral. I'm pretty neutral politically altogether. I don't really care either way about any of it. But as a business person, I think he needs to chill out. But yeah, I love his cars. I think his cars are cool. I think they're fun cars. I think they're, part of me's a little sad about Teslas because, like I always race cars. I was really into JDM, like kind of tuner culture when I was young. The Fast and Furious came out when I was a teenager, and I was really into tuner culture. I wanted a 300Z, an RX-7, a Toyota Supra, an SX. I wanted all these cool tuner cars, and it kind of bums me out to know that like the future is electric. Like a strip down. If you strip a Tesla down, take the passenger's like seat off, take some of the back seats off. If you strip a Tesla down, it will beat almost anything on the street. Like a Tesla Plaid will beat anything on the street. Anything. Right? Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's a freaking Hellcat, anything. If you strip a Tesla Plaid down, it'll beat anything on the street stock. And again, that kind of bums me out because that's just where the future of car racing is headed, unfortunately. There's not going to be internal combustion engine and sometime deep into the future. Who knows how quickly that'll get here, but it's definitely going to be, it's definitely going to be the reality, I think. Dollar index up, bad for markets. It's probably just following the market. I don't know if it's a good or bad investment or not, Lear. Again, I don't know about it, whether it's good or bad. One of my favorite things to do is to get up in the morning, drink coffee, and hang out and talk about the stock market with you all. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Yeah, like legit one of my favorite things to do. All right. All right, let me see. Um. Hmm. Yeah, we'll watch Nvidia. We'll try to day trade some today. I appreciate it, Joseph. Thanks, man. Your thoughts on Hamzat planning to retire? Yeah, man, I think it's a bummer. You know, he had so much potential, but he just didn't fight enough. Unfortunately, you know, now he's where he's at. Unfortunately, I'm bummed out about it. You know, I hope he fights more. You know, Connor's out of 303 as well. Unfortunately, they replaced it with Hiri Prokaska versus Alex Pereira, which will be a great fight, but it's still a bummer, you know, for sure. All right, guys. So, SpaceX unveils Starlink Mini, which is high-speed internet in your backpack, so you can bring it with you. That's dope. I like that. That's cool. Yep. All right. So, sorry, checking out something else. Yeah, what did Kathy say regarding Tesla? Tesla, the sleeping giant right now. All right. Spy least. New setup. Tesla calls. Yeah, so the petrodollar thing is interesting. If you don't understand the petrodollar, right, the petrodollar has to do with this. Okay, so when we buy oil, when an exporting country sells oil, right? So think like Middle Eastern countries, they're mostly the ones selling oil, right? So Middle Eastern countries selling oil. When somebody comes and buys oil from them, the currency that they buy it in is incredibly important, right? So for a long time now, they've been using the U.S. dollar as the currency, as the currency they use to sell oil to other people with. So it's kind of like the base currency that people that people pay for oil with, right? And it's benefiting the U.S. dollar because, when we pay for oil using the U.S. dollar, and when other countries have to pay for oil using the U.S. dollar, it strengthens the dollar, number one, and also, those companies tend to invest in U.S. things, right? They tend to invest in treasury bonds with it. They tend to diversify and invest it into other things afterwards once we pay them in the U.S. dollar. And this is called the petrodollar, right? It's basically, countries accepting the U.S. dollar for oil, and it benefits us in a lot of different ways, right? The news that people are talking about is that some countries are trying to get off of that, which is bad for the dollar. Of course, it's bad for the dollar. We'll see what happens. But yeah, interesting. All right, guys. Ugh. All right, Nvidia up to 133s. So Nvidia still holding over the volume weighted average price. Tesla at 173s. No, and I'm usually pretty skeptical of those communities around very new cryptocurrencies. Usually they're getting pumped up by the owners and operators of the crypto, and they're going around talking about how great it is, but really they're the owners, Yeah, so Wednesday the market's closed. Very strange, yeah. Yeah, it's not. It was AMC Networks. It was AMC, but it was just a different AMC. I'm in SoFi right now. It's a small position. I hope it goes up, but I'm skeptical because it's a new company. Yeah, so the Saudi Arabian agreement for the petrodollar that had been in place since 1974 expired June 9th. So it will now sell oil in multiple currencies, including the Chinese yuan, euro, yen, digital currencies like Bitcoin, etc. So again, this move is expected to accelerate the transition away from U.S. dollar as the dominant currency for international oil transactions. Kramer bringing Iggy Azalea into the stock exchange last week. She had this crypto called Mother that went crazy. I would be careful. Again, it's not uncommon to get rug pulled in situations like that. Again, it's not uncommon to get rug pulled in situations like that. The problem is, like, dude, like so much work done. Like, so much work done. Like, how can you get so much plastic surgery done where you don't even look the same anymore? It's crazy. Oh, so how about the House of Dragon yesterday, dude? Ugh, I'm so hyped up for it. I'm excited. All right, guys. Nvidia still churning up. Again, 133 even is the new lifetime highs of Nvidia. 133 even. So the interesting thing is that the political debates are coming up soon. Should I cover those? It would be hard for me to. Maybe yes, but not from a political perspective. Yeah, I'm not really a political guy, dude. Like, I really don't know what, like, I really don't know what I would say if I went and did the political debates. I think it would ruin the channel a lot. Yeah. She's a clown. You know? Yeah, maybe. Alright, guys, so Yeah, so there's more Caitlin Clark drama. I bet you Dave Portnoy keeps posting about it though, dude. That's the one that keeps, you know. Matt Smith, Doctor Who? Was he a Doctor Who? I didn't see Doctor Who, but I see him in Game of Thrones. Oh, he was on TV. Yeah, I never saw that series. Yeah. Honestly, Damon's the gangster in Game of Thrones. Nvidia still brought it up. It's at 133s, but yeah, Damon's the gangster. Reuters Pearl says 22 out of 33 economists think S&B will cut policy rate by 25 basis points. I don't think so. Oh wait, S&B. Yeah, it's not us. Never mind. I don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, listen, Sky, I'm not gonna give you an answer for any. You're asking me what your stop loss should be, where you should do it, how much you should buy. Like, I'm not gonna answer any of that stuff, bro. Like, that's not what I do here. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. That's super liability ridden and unnecessary. Like, you gotta figure that stuff out yourself, brother. I'm not an investment professional, you know. Not liable. If you lose, you gotta, again, figure out what you want to do there. Again, we do have the Empire State Manufacturing Index that drops in like 45 minutes. So we'll see what happens there. Empire State Manufacturing Index expected at minus 10.5. Remember, it's a slow week, so Wednesday the market's closed. So we got like retail sales tomorrow, which is interesting. Jobless claims. So every day this week's busy except for today, basically. Yeah. Yeah, I'm waiting for earnings to start too. I'm seeing like Netflix and Tesla earnings are going to be in about a month from now. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. We'll see. Yeah, so I'm getting a nickel allergy from some of the watches I wear, unfortunately. Are there any white gold Submariners? Let me see. I know there are. See, the problem is that now that those are like 40K, I don't know if I want to buy that for that much. It's too expensive. See, the thing is, though, I do have a white gold date just with a Jubilee band that I could switch over. I wonder if it would look right. The Donald Duck song. I didn't know there's a Coke Rolex. There's a Pepsi. White gold Seamaster. Yeah, I thought about getting an Omega. Again, I recently got my dad an Omega, and the one I got my dad's pretty dope. Like, look, I got my dad this watch, and I liked it, right? Like, I liked it, but like, I got my dad this watch, which has like a rubber strap, right? So it's got a rubber strap. You know, it's got like a rubber strap, and so it wouldn't give me like, again, it's a nickel allergy for sure, right? So like, it's only like, and they say Rolexes have higher stainless steel content or a higher nickel content in their stainless steel, right? So it's only when I wear a Rolly stainless steel watch, unfortunately, right? Which is a bummer, and I don't ever really wear it, you know. But it sucks because, you know, when I do want to wear it, I get this allergy. I don't know what to do. All right, so Nvidia just broke highs, guys. Nvidia at 133.20s. So Nvidia at 133.20s. So yeah, Nvidia just broke highs of the day. Tesla falling below the previous closing price, dipping down a little bit here. There's Gamestop still testing over 29s. No, I mean, you can Google it, Sam. It's a pretty common thing. Like, nickel allergies on Rolexes is pretty common for their stainless steel. They have a higher nickel content in their stainless steel, unfortunately. And again, I know it's a nickel allergy because it only happens when I wear my watch, one of my specific watches, you know. Again, I guess I'll go ahead and I have a GMT Master 2 Batman Rolex is what it is, right? So I have this one. Technically, it's called a Batgirl. It's a man's watch, but it's called a Batgirl Rolex because it has the Jubilee band. And so I have this one right here. But every time I freaking wear it, I get this nickel allergy that sprouts up on my left wrist, right? So it's right here. I could probably show it to you. Look. So I have this one. All right, look at Nvidia pump up though, guys. I'm looking at the news here. I'm gonna see if all right, so Nvidia Record highs. Lifetime high break again. Almost up to 134s. Almost up to 134s. And so, still riding up here. I'm looking at the rest of tech right now in stocks. Again, Tesla looking weak, Nvidia looking strong. We can look at other stocks like AMD. You know, markets have just been breaking lifetime highs for so long. I'm skeptical to buy. Like, I don't want to buy up more. I'm in a lot of these already. Again, I'm in Nvidia. But they've just been breaking lifetime highs for so long. I'm skeptical. I don't know what to do there. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at doing, you know. That or just getting myself in a mega. Again, yeah, Disney's up today. So Disney's up. I did buy Disney on the dip. I'm in Disney. So Disney's moving up some with us as well. Yeah, dude. Honestly, and I'm not really allergic to anything, right? But like, look, let me see if I can show you. Like, look, right here is where the allergy is. It's hard to explain. Yeah, but it's a weird allergy. It's not uncommon though. If you look it up, like a lot of people. Not really in futures. So I don't ever really trade oil or gold in futures. No, I invest in gold. But I'm not really about to like, I like trading the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 is what I like trading. But everybody's different, you know, so everybody likes trading different things. My personal favorite is the NASDAQ and the S&P. You hope rate won't cut, so your all market stock will up. No, I mean, I don't really care about it like that. Like, rate cuts don't really have anything to do with that. Like, there's a difference between the economy and the market, right? There really is. I don't want rates to go up, or I don't want rates to go down, because I think inflation has been rough. And, like, you know, like, inflation has been bad over the last few years. I think we really need to get a handle on it first. Again, it depends on if you're trying to buy or sell a house, getting a mortgage, you know. The only bias that I have in terms of keeping rates high is that I'm about to buy a rental property and you know, about to buy a rental property. And I'm going to pay cash for it. And so I don't want rates to cut, because then that might make me get a worse deal with cash, right? With cash right now, I can get a pretty good deal in real estate because mortgages are so high, interest rates are so high, you know. That's the only bias I have, but it's going to be relatively insignificant for me there. I would rather just make sure inflation gets under control first. And I come from real estate. Like, I've had my real estate license. I know a lot of people in real estate, and I get the pressure that they're putting on everybody. Like, oh, like the economy's nowhere near recession, depression levels, you know, but like we get a lot of pressure from real estate to cut rates just to pander to them so that they can do more business, right? But I don't think it's time for that. I think we need to keep rates high and discourage inflation as best we can. You know, I don't think we should cut rates just so real estate agents can be more successful and just so lenders can be more successful. I think that's completely unnecessary. And I think that the number one priority right now should be inflation problems. We need to make sure inflation gets under control first. And that's a big if, and who knows if it will. I don't think one good set of inflation data means that we should start cutting rates. And I don't think the Fed thinks that either. So surely you can get some kind of water repellent plastic coating on the strap. I could do that, actually. You're probably right. No, I trade minis. I mostly trade minis now. I don't trade micros anymore. I mean, I sometimes trade micros, but usually I'm trading e-minis. Yeah, let me look at this up. Clear plastic strap for nickel allergy. Watch. Because it really, the problem is really only on one specific part. It's only on the clasp. And so I guess if I put a plastic coating over the clasp, I'd probably be all right. clear nail polish or resin on the metal may help. Yeah. Yeah, it's contact dermatitis from nickel. I could also have the watch too tight, right? Like, I could also have the watch too tight. I'll go grab the watch if you guys want to see it, but it could also just be too tight. What do you think of Reddit stock? I'm not confident enough in how Reddit makes money to want to invest in them. RDDT is the symbol. They IPO'd, they've held, which is good. You know, they've held. They're over their IPO price in less than a year, which is great. I don't know enough about how they make money or their business altogether. I know about Reddit, and I use Reddit probably daily, but I don't know enough about their business to invest in it myself. Sure, but that's a lot of work, you know. And so, yeah, white gold class would make sense, but that's a lot of work, and I don't, to be honest, because my watch is kind of like it's a very, like, well-known watch. Taking it apart has risks. Like disassembling it has risks. Even though I know how to do it, I know how to work on watches, I know how to take it apart, I know how to remove links myself, right? Like, I can remove and add links myself. I know how to do that. I took the back off. I had to take the back off the other day out to look at, to make sure it's real, right? Because I got it from a well-known place, but because to get the same watch from Rolex is going to take 2 to 5 years, right? Like, Rolex ain't about to sell it to you for years. And so because I bought it, even though it had an authentication company verify its legitimacy, I wanted to take the back off and look at it, because that's the only real way to know nowadays if it's real or not, right? So a couple weeks ago, I took the back off and I looked at it, and the balancing arm, there's a very specific tell for fake Rolexes, where the balancing arm, on the fake ones, it'll have 2 different balancing arms, because it's too expensive to replicate the freestanding movement of a real Rolex, right? So the only real way to tell is to take the back off and look at the make sure it only has 1 balancing arm. You know, and aside from that, they've completely reverse engineered them. But yeah, so point is, I took the back off, I verified that it is legitimate, which is great. But yeah. Off topic, like how your keyboard sounds. What's it called? I don't know what this one is. I bought this one recently. I don't know what it is. All right, guys. Nvidia dipping down. I can't remember what brand it is. Let me look. I don't feel like taking it. It's a Corsair. This is a Corsair. This is one of those keyboards, like gaming keyboards, that have something done to elevate the keys a little bit. I can't remember what they're called. Somebody here will answer it, I'm sure. They need to stop spending on non-domestic to keep inflation down. Yeah, I mean, again, I just think that, I think right now interest rates aren't crazy high, like conventionally. We don't have crazy high interest rates right now, like 6, 7, 8%. It's not good. It's not what we've had over the last 20 years, but it's not horrible, like a lot of people in real estate are pretending. And so, yeah, I just don't think we should cut rates anytime soon. I don't think it's necessary to. Alright guys, so I'm excited for Nvidia. This is by far my best trade ever. Thanks for sharing. Will you be streaming the GameStop investor call? I should be, yes. So I know they tried to do it last week. All right, so yeah. Statistically speaking, rate cuts always follow up with a market downtrend, right? Typically, usually, a downtrending market follows rate cuts. Titanium clasp makes more sense. Just keep the original. Yeah, but honestly, it's gonna be hard to find. I don't know. Like, yeah, you gotta understand. Like, for some of these Rolexes, per link is hundreds of dollars. Each individual link is hundreds of dollars. The band itself is thousands. So it's just kind of a, you know. Yeah, Nvidia down to 133s. It's something that I don't really want to play with. Yeah, so again, GameStop investor meetings today is scheduled for 12:30 Eastern time today. Hopefully we get some good action. Do you think Nvidia will go down this week? I'm not sure. I think it's possible. I think they're up a lot. But as for when, I'm not sure. My average price in Nvidia, I've been in before the split, so it doesn't even show me my average price. Yeah. Yeah, so the GameStop investor call is at 12:30 Eastern. A 392-year-old Greenland shark in the Arctic Ocean, wandering the ocean since 1627. Does that shark really live 400 years, man? That's crazy. John, if you were CEO of GameStop, what would you do with all the money they got now? I would rebrand, rebuild myself up into be a comics, sports memorabilia, and collectibles store, as well as gaming content and stuff like that. So I would do gaming, video game content, as well as collectibles, Pokemon, sports cards, and just make it a game store in general, right? I think it would still mesh well with games, because game can be baseball, football, video games, so forth and so on. But I think comic stores, collectible stores do well. Like, they're not powerful, like they're not as crazy powerful as other businesses, but they do well enough, right? So I'd completely rebrand to that. Still do games, like still cover, sell video games and video game content stuff like they're doing now, so they wouldn't have to change that aspect. They're just kind of branching off and adding more stuff so that they have more longevity, I think. Because I think everybody kind of understands right now that video games, physical copies of video games, are not going to be around in 5 years. Like, they're already really not around now. Nobody's going to GameStop to buy the newest game. Except for maybe a tiny percentage of people might be going to GameStop, but it's definitely not a lot. And so, obviously they're not going to be able to maintain that. That's going to, and so I think they have to completely rebrand themselves. And I think they have the money to do it now, but they better get started. Tanking just means it's dropping. It's trade jargon. Might not be in line with the actual definition, but it just means dropping. Like, hey, if this stock's tanking, it usually means it's falling down. Yeah, I'd go with collectibles, stuff like that. Maybe start doing like auctions, like Golden. If you ever seen the Golden show on Netflix, maybe do like online auctions for collectibles, stuff like that. Branch out. Just gives, like, they need to branch out and do something. All right, guys, so GameStop bounced right off of that 133 level. You see we drew that support. We bounced directly off of it. We might start to day trade some here today. Let's see if we can get into anything good. Let me pull this up. And the good news is that Trade-Evade and Quant Tower are back up, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, 12:30 Eastern Standard Time is when. All right, so yeah, we got the roll forward. So the new symbol is NQU4 is the new symbol. Guess we lost a little bit on this one from last week on this PA. All right, so let's day trade a little bit today, guys. Let's pull this up, squeeze this to the side here. All right, so GameStop still sitting at 29s. Let's see if we get the next run. Nvidia is the other one to watch, of course. And then again, we're keeping an eye on the NASDAQ here, which is right here on the right side, or the left side. Yeah, Trade-Evade and Rhythmic back up. It took a little while, you know. No, not really. I don't really have a weekly goal. I don't think pressuring myself to do anything there is the right move. What else we got? Market is overbought. I'm ready for GameStop day at 45. Is there something happening that will make GameStop pump? I mean, we got the investor meeting today, which is the big, you know, it's a big meeting. You know, we'll see what happens. But yeah. And again, guys, if you haven't already, check out Apex. Apex is one of the most legit funded programs in the world. They give you a demo, and they test your skill with a demo account. If you can pass the test with the demo, they fund you the same amount, right? And this is the great, like, most day traders lose money, chat. Almost all day traders are going to lose money. If you put money up yourself, if you put up five grand yourself, I hate to break it to you, but if you try to day trade with that 5 grand, you're almost certainly about to lose that 5 grand. You might think this is wrong. Any real day trader will tell you that's the truth. I don't care what course you take, what your mentor is, who your mentor is. You're probably going to lose 5 grand if you put it up. And so it's much better to try a funded account program first. In this case, they give you a demo account. It's a challenge. It limits your risk. They give you a demo account and they test your skill with the demo account first. The base one's 25K. If I pull up Apex here, you can see the base one is 25K, so I can get this 25K challenge. They'll give me a demo. If you use my link, you get 70% off right now. 70% off right now. So if you use my link right now, you're gonna get, it's 71%. So you're gonna get this $147 25K challenge for 0.29. So for $42, you're gonna get this challenge here. $42 plus tax. So for 42 bucks, that's your risk. Is 42 bucks. They're gonna give you a 25K demo. If you can make 1,500 in profit without losing 1,500 first and following their rules, you also get real-time data, which probably costs about the same as the 40 bucks a month thing here. But if you pass this test, you make 1,500 without losing 1,500 first and following their rules and conditions. They fund you 25K with a 90% split. And so once you're funded, it's similar to putting the money up yourself. You still got a 90% split. You're keeping 90% of your profit as long as you follow their rules. But if you lose, you're out 43 bucks if you use my link. 43 bucks. For the time being, you can also get the 250K challenge for the same amount. I believe it's the same amount. And so, big discount here where if you pass this one, you get $250K in funding with a 90% split. And they're one of the most legit in the world. They pay out millions. They've paid out almost $200 million. They're at $196.5 million in total compensation to customers since 2022. They average payout $11 million plus a month since January. In the last 90 days, they've paid out almost $71 million or over $71 million. Great way to learn how to day trade it. And in the futures market, you can day trade the S&P and the NASDAQ, which is what the SPY and Q tracks, right? So you can day trade essentially the SPY and Q price action with no PDT rule in futures. It's just a great way to learn how to day trade. The patterns are very similar to blue chip patterns. And, yeah, check it out right here. Get the max discount. Here's the link. Great way to help support your boy here on this channel. Use coupon code BT. BT will get you the max discount at all times. Anytime you want the max discount, use coupon code BT. Remember, they're a sponsor of mine. They pay me money. I'm biased. I do trade off stream. You're not going to see all my trades. I'm not even claiming to be a good trader. Understand CFTC 4.41 hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations in these counts, unlike actual accounts. So understand those rules here, chat. Still, with that said, this right side's got about 100,000 in real money. So, yeah. And the cool thing is, like, a lot of the time you'll see me trade the SPY and Q. You could do that in futures, right? Will we get red or green action in the market today? Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Will we get red or green action? Thoughts on Rivian? Rivian's interesting. Rivian is one of those stocks that has big backing versus a lot of other startup EV companies, but I still don't trust it necessarily. I see Rivians driving around in my area, and they're pretty cool. But the question is, does it have the consumer base it needs? I don't think right now it does. But time will tell. I think it's one of the better positioned EV companies, but it's certainly still a risk. What's happening with Tesla? I think Tesla's just pulling back a little bit, no? Yeah, Tesla's down to 177s. Feeling red. Yeah, I think things are so high, man, that like a lot of things have broken lifetime highs, including Nvidia. Nvidia's up to freaking 134s, which is a crazy level. And if it opens up around there, that'll be lifetime high break for Nvidia. But yeah, I think we'll see. It's tough to tell. It really is. All right, guys. So Tesla dipping down. Is it time to buy the dip? I'm thinking about buying this dip. I'm gonna add a little bit to Tesla. You know what? We'll play with it. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so we just added a little bit to Tesla. We're just playing with it. We'll see what happens. Honestly, the Nasdaq is really flat. Like, look at this range. We got a sideways neutral range. I guess I'm gonna try to short this here. So we're gonna try to short this in the Nasdaq here. Remember, we did roll over. What's up, Daphne? Nvidia cooking new highs again. Yeah, I see that. So we are short. And again, this is futures. So see, it's very similar to day trading stocks. We're shorting. We used a market order here as well. We're shorting one contract at the Nasdaq. This is basically the QQQ price action in futures. Yeah, so this is a funded account. We got multiple funded accounts here on Apex. Yeah, we got multiple funded accounts. We will cover this and just, you know, get out of here if we can. Yeah, so this is too big of a bounce. I'm just gonna cut it. So we lost 75 bucks. Well, again, we're just gonna sit tight. We got a nice little bounce back and everything else. So again, attacking choppy range. I was hoping we'd break out of it, but we're still pretty flat. Oh, we got the Empire State Manufacturing Index right now. I completely forgot, guys. We got the Empire State Manufacturing Index dropping right now. We'll see how this goes. Again, I'm not really going to cover it like that. U.S. Steel did provide guidance numbers, but we do have the Empire State Manufacturing Index. I don't know how much this is going to influence markets, but, like, look, we'll come back and day trade after this is done. Here's a video. We'll put the queue up or something like that here. We did add a little bit to Tesla. But we do have the Empire State Manufacturing Index. Drops in about 6 minutes. No, Sam. Sorry, brother. Again, it's just, I can't really vet them, dude. Regardless of who it is or what it is. Also, they might be competitors, so I just kind of gotta be smart and avoid that type of stuff, dude. Hope you understand. Appreciate you asking, though. Yeah, I appreciate you asking. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes. Chat. Remember, we do have the Empire State Manufacturing Index dropping in 5 minutes. It's not a huge release, though, so it's not a crazy big release or anything. We also might get choppy behavior leading into it. Yeah, so we also might get choppy behavior leading into it. So how about House of Dragon? Did anybody see House of Dragon last night? What an ending. It's on tonight in the UK, so y'all haven't seen it? That's crazy. How is a British English show that has all English speakers, like British speakers, released later for British people? They're doing you guys dirty over there then, man. Gonna have to miss your streams every morning, so there's no spoilers. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not a spoiler guy. You know, my dad's the type of person where my dad will literally look up the ending to everything. Nvidia testing highs right now, Chad. Nvidia testing highs. My dad will look up the ending and spoilers for every major show. I'm the type that I want to be surprised. I don't want to ruin the show beforehand. All right, so we are kind of day trading back and forth here. We made a little bit of money here. Attack and chop. Yep. And so we are out. We are now green on the day. We got ourselves green on the day. Short in the breakdown. We're up 20 bucks. We were down 75 prior to this trade. So green on the day is good, guys. Green on the day is good. Remember, we got the Empire State Manufacturing Index going out. House of Dragon Season 2 came out last night. The Game of Thrones House of Dragon Season 2 dropped last night. I'm just glad, like, the last time they dropped the whole thing live, now they're making you wait a week to get each individual episode. All right, guys, here we go. 40 seconds left before Empire State Manufacturing Index. You're missing out, Smokey. It's literally one of the best stories in the world. It really is. My daughter's watching us with us now, so she's getting into it too. All right, guys, here we go. Empire State Manufacturing Index dropping right now in 10 seconds, basically. Hit the live button. Let's see what this shows up as. It shouldn't be anything major. Empire State Manufacturing Index is expected at minus 12.5. It's about to drop right now. We'll see if it impacts the Q here. Here's the Q on the right. And here we go. Here's the report. Again, it's not minus 6. So better than expected for manufacturing. Minus 6. And yeah, it's kind of a nothing burger here. Nothing really moved. Minus 6 versus minus 12.5 for the Empire State Manufacturing Index. Some people had it at minus 9. But yeah, it came in at minus 6. So less weakness in manufacturing than expected. I've heavily analyzed that show, watched an entire season, but could not get with it. Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? So this is the thing to understand about all Game of Thrones. All right, every season of Game of Thrones is like this, right? You got to understand it. George R.R. Martin, the writer, what he is very, very good at, is character development. And so this is good and bad, right? What this means is that when you first start watching it, it's going to be slow. There's not a lot going on. He has to build the characters up. Right, so George R.R. Martin, again, in the producers of Game of Thrones, they did what they do really, really well is character development. So it takes almost a full season to really start caring about the individual characters. The first 3, 4, 5 episodes are really slow, kind of boring. You got to watch the backstory though. You got to understand it. You got to be interested. The only way, and again, if you follow along with it. Especially the first season of Game of Thrones, if you watch the whole thing, again, I believe personally it's one of the best stories ever told, right? I really do. The original Game of Thrones, even with season 8, is probably my favorite series of all time. I really do believe it's one of the best stories ever. Again, I'm not going to spoil any of it, but yeah. How do you get interested, though? That's where I'm at. Nothing grabs you. Well, in the beginning, you got to just kind of sit through it and watch it. By the end of season 1 of the original Game of Thrones, the ending has a crazy ending, too. So if you watch all the way through, you should be interested in it. The original Game of Thrones takes a couple seasons to really be into, though. It just takes time, man. Any good show is going to build characters up, and it's going to be slow. Like, that's why it's slow. It's because they got to build the characters up. Are the Fed calls this week going to change something, and why is there so many Fed calls like almost every day? There's something. Well, we're in the middle of when so there's a blackout period leading into the FOMC meeting and after the FOMC meeting for like a week afterwards, right? So what we're seeing now is we're seeing that blackout period end, and we're seeing Fed members start to speak again. Today we got Lisa Cook, we got Patrick Harker speaking. So that's kind of what's going on right now. Tomorrow is when a lot of them come out. Tom Barkin, Governor Adriana Kugler, Dallas Fed Lori Logan, Alberto Musalim, Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee. So yeah, we just got Fed speakers speaking, this week. And so yeah, that's all it is. In the same breath, some of the best characters in shows and movies are the ones you know so well right away, but they're still unpredictable. Right. Look, Game of Thrones, watch the first season in its entirety. Okay? Watch the first season, all of the first season. Yeah, you can trade news on Apex. You can trade news on Apex. You can't trade different strategies where you're just kind of going super big into the news reports and stuff like that, right? It's more so like you can only trade your strategy that you've been trading prior to that, if that makes sense. So you can trade news, but you can't like specialize trade it, if that makes sense. Alright, so the market's starting to kind of turn a little bit. We'll see what Nvidia does. We're still been in a sideways range for a minute now, though. Yeah, Trade of 8 seems to be working a lot better. Yeah, markets are down big here, chat. A lot of weakness showing up in markets. I don't know if this is a delayed reaction to the Empire State Manufacturing Index or what, but markets are starting to turn fast. Breaking down a lot. Yeah, markets SPY turning a little bit. Nvidia down some too. A lot of stuff tanked. I wouldn't call it big red, but we're definitely down so far, and red action is definitely pushing. The SPY and Q have definitely turned, I would say, and they're starting to look pretty weak. Q is here, so head and shoulders things going on in the Dow. Yeah, we got a little bit of time into the opening bell. How's the market down? What I'm saying is the Q. Look at the Q. The market is not red, but the market, the NASDAQ specifically, if you look at the SPY, they're both falling down over the last, I don't know, last 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Market's been going red. See if it continues. But yeah, SPY, Q both down over the last 10 minutes. GameStop testing that previous close. So let's see if that holds. Yeah, I mean, look, here's the SPY and here's the Q, guys. Nvidia is still pretty green and holding fairly well, right? So it's green holding fairly well. Q still breaking lows. Look at the Q drop. I'm wondering if it's Tesla dropping. What is tank? Yeah, so Tesla cracking lows is what's driving the market down. So this is Tesla specifically. I don't know if Tesla had some bad news or what, but let's see. All right, so Tesla to use shareholder support for Musk's $56 billion pay package in court battle. Can Elon Musk really pull off a $20,000 Model Y? Mixed feelings by industry experts. Tesla gets approval to test advanced driver assistant programs in Shanghai. But yeah, Tesla is dragging the rest of the market down. Look at the Q still falling here. So we're still getting weakness. Yeah, we are getting weakness showing up, chat. Yeah, I added a little bit to Tesla. I'm still very green on my position. I'll add a couple more shares now that we've fallen enough, but that's probably it. I'm not going to add any more. I'm just trying to kind of average in on dips for this one, is what I usually try to do. And again, we'll see what happens. Still very green, so I'm not. My average price in Tesla was 140s prior to this ad, right? So I'm very green still. This is Thinkorswim TD Ameritrade charts. Home Depot announces a new 9-part senior unsecured note that contains 1.5 years, 1.5 year FRN, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 30 years, and 40 years. Yeah. See if it's benefiting. I'm in Home Depot as well. I've already taken a lot of profit off. I trade on Schwab, but their charts aren't good. Yeah, I'm on TOS. Hey, what's up, Goose? Thanks, man. Like, I'm basically break even in my equities positions too here. It's nothing super red or anything like that. All right, sounds good, Sam. All right, chat. So GameStop now technically red on the day, slightly red. It's right under the previous close at 28.70s. So right under that previous closing price level here. I don't know. I probably won't D. I don't think that's big enough of a gains for the risk, you know, personally, but everybody's different. Nvidia is still in a very flat range. Q bounced right at the previous closing price, got right to the previous closing price, and then bounced directly off of it. What else we got? All right, so Gamestop still red. We did get a little pop. Again, the big thing breaking lows this morning is Tesla. So there's Nvidia still chopping sideways. Tesla dragging what, you know, Tesla was the weak one dragging the market down. All right, guys, Tesla. Let's see if it bounces back. Nvidia's right back up to the lifetime highs, though. So Nvidia's right at the lifetime highs. So Nvidia just broke lifetime highs again. It's at 134, is basically at 133.77. So Nvidia did just pop. And again, so usually these levels don't register until market open. And so we don't actually have a register level until market open. So if we hold these levels, this will be the lifetime high in Nvidia if we open up around here. All right, so again, Nvidia up to 137. It's kind of dragging the Q. The Q went down to the previous closing price, bounced directly off of that level. All right, so again, we got a little pullback. There's a bounce in GameStop here, chat. So we do have a little pop at GameStop, all in on Nvidia. Nvidia will grow that if it doesn't win. Yeah, put stop losses higher. Got it. Nvidia after split at 1050. MU about to blow. Yeah, MU's up big right now. When were MU earnings? I don't think they were this morning, huh? Yeah, so MU is up a lot today. Look at MU gapping here. We'll put MU up on the right side. There's MU this morning. Way up. Probably just in Nvidia's sympathy. Bank of America adjusted Micron Technologies target to 170 from 144 buy rating. So yeah, Bank of America maintains buy on Micron and raises their price target. That's kind of one thing that's been boosting them. Yeah, Tesla's looking weak today. But again, like the biggest thing people get wrong is like, again, the biggest thing I would say rookie traders get wrong is like rookie traders will look at something pulling back and they'll say, oh, it's weak. And maybe it is, right? But that's when I'm buying stuff up. I'm buying weakness and selling strength. I'm not trying to buy strength and sell weakness. Usually if something's pulling back enough, I'll buy it. And if something's moving up enough, I'll sell it. Depending on what it is, of course. Everything has its own individual context behind it. But yeah, again, I usually am looking for dips to buy. And so I don't mind Tesla dipping down. Again, I added a little bit to my position. My previous average in Tesla was 140s. And so, yeah, we're still very green. Virgin Galactic. You know, there's only been a couple times in history where I've thought about opening up a short report where I try to isolate and identify terrible companies. And SPCE was one of those companies that I knew was weak for a long time, for years before anybody else really thought it was weak. You know, I've been covering SPCE for almost 6 years. You know, and SPCE, you know, it was a SPAC. It went crazy big. It got up to like ridiculous level, $60+ a share. Everybody was overhyped about it. Again, I gave people the same argument every single time, right? And this is one of those companies along with maybe like BYND and Peloton where I really genuinely consider it like a short paid, like something like making a short report. I'm not one to short stocks though, you know, and I think some shady stuff goes on in shorting is the only thing that's kept me from it. But there are a handful of companies that I just think are terrible. And again, like I feel like people just get so sold on hype that they don't look at companies objectively, right? They don't look at companies objectively. And I'm not talking about like Tesla. You might not like Tesla, but Tesla has high revenue. You might not like some individual companies, but usually their revenue is good if they're moving up. But companies like SPCE, the problem with a company like this is how does it make money? How does this company make money? You know how expensive space is? Like the space industry? So a company like SPCE acting like it was going to make money anytime soon or it was going to be some thriving economy of space is just such a ridiculous thought. You know, even Elon Musk knows that like it's not easy to produce a space company like this, like SPCE, and so it was never going to succeed. And I've been saying this for 5+ years about it, you know, and in those 5+ years, space has gone from well over $60 down to 68 cents, where like under 70 cents where it's sitting now. And again, I knew this the whole time. Like this company's, people just get so sold on hype. You know, they sold on hype. They see people, like people are, you know, manipulatable, I guess is the easiest word. And again, you still got some bag holders that I'm sure are still kind of holding on just to hold on. And maybe there's some value down here. I don't freaking know. I just don't think there's really many ways these companies can make money. I think margins are big, or margins are bad. Space is expensive, and none of these companies are about to succeed anytime soon, at least. Yet people still get sold on them like there's some type of like even if they do succeed one day, betting money on it is a risky bet. Like there's no way I would bet money on that. Same thing with like the other examples of companies like this are like Peloton, PTON. You know, a stock that got big in the pandemic, virtual reality, bicycles, super expensive, thousands of dollars. You know, got really big during the pandemic when everybody was scared. Once the pandemic was over, this should have been an obvious weak stock, like a company that's obviously not going to succeed. They started overproducing. Spending. One thing that happens when companies start making too much money, when they get too big, one of the things that happens is they start wasting money. They start burning money. You know, Peloton tried to come out with a virtual reality rowing machines. And I would always give the same joke. If anybody's been here long enough, you might remember the joke, which was, what's next? A virtual reality toothbrush? Like, people, I did a poll. I said, hey, would you rather a virtual reality bicycle or an actual bicycle? 90+% of people said actual bicycle. And so the customer base for this type of thing is incredibly small. It was never going to succeed like that. Also did some really bad deals in marketing. You know, got a little bit too political, I would argue, for Peloton. And anyways, Peloton's one of them. The other one, another one is BYND, Beyond Meat. Same thing, same company, same premise here. I mean, which is that too small of a customer base. They don't have enough consumers interested in this product, right? They got really overly hyped. You know, they misunderstood their customers, which is like, vegans are super health conscious, super worried about eating right and doing right, and selling growing lab grown meat products that are really, really expensive and really super experimental, for lack of a better word. They're just not going to have anybody that really wants to use this product. You know, it's just not something that people are going to get behind. Vegans are not, just because you see it with Impossible, just because you sell things at Burger King doesn't make people want to buy it. So the non-vegans are really not going to want to touch this. They're going to go to actual meat. And then the vegans are going to be too skeptical of what it actually is to want to buy this as well. And so it just doesn't have enough customers. And so over time, you see this huge downfall from $2.20 plus down to $6 where it's at now. There's a couple companies like this all the time that people get so behind, that are so inflated and high, that I think there's some opportunity to short them. Now, again, I'm not really the big shorter, but these arguments, those three arguments I just gave you for these three different companies, I've been saying this for years and years and years, well before these were cheap, well before these pulled back. And so, again, something like that makes me think I should do a short report sometimes. Or maybe just put my money with my mouth, where my mouth is sometimes with some of these companies. Almost like those video call messages. Explain. Yeah, blue chips will prevail most of the time. MU earnings coming up soon. Hey, Joe, what do you think of IBM? Do you still consider it a blue chip? I don't know enough about it. Market cap is what I look at to determine whether it's a blue chip. So in that regard, I would say IBM probably still is. But, you know, sometimes people bring IBM up as an example. Like, I hear people, you know, and again, a lot of the people doing it are people that are like shorting stocks, right? People that are like really big short traders. Somehow they're trying to argue against investing in blue chips long term. And one of the examples they would always give me is IBM, right? But it kind of backfired on people when I would do this argument, because when you look at IBM, if this is your example of a weak company long term, you know, this thing was at freaking $20, $25 in 1988. It's at 170 now. And so it's still gone up a ridiculous amount, even for an example of like a failed blue chip company. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about them anymore, though, to really say. Like, they're a big name. You know, they're a big name. I don't know what they do anymore, though. I don't know what they do. I know IBM, International Business Machines, you know, everybody knows what they used to do. But at this point, they're not really the big player in computers like they used to be. So, I don't know. I hope GameStop is green. Like, people getting a massage over Zoom. Yeah, those are just, like, they're just people that just don't know what to do with money. Doing stuff like that, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm not against vegans. I'm really not. Like, I think people should be allowed to do whatever they want to do. I just think that what's healthy for humans are things that our hunter-gatherer ancestors had access to, right? Like, things that they consumed are what's healthy for us because they're the least foreign things to the human body. Like, blueberries are good because they walked around picking blueberries and stuff like that. Lean meats are probably in that regard good for us, and so I think only eating fruits and veggies we're missing out on a huge chunk of healthy food, and we're on necessary like nutrients for our body. We're missing out on a big chunk of it. But again, I think people should be able to do whatever they want to do. You know. Kind of bullish on IBM. They're doing something with, yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I just don't know enough about them. If they were, I mean, they have pulled back some over the year. Like they've started dipping in March, but I don't know if it's a big enough pullback to get me excited about it yet. Maybe. I don't know. Here's Tesla. Again, Tesla dipped small today. We added a little bit to our position. And so you might be asking why I'm buying Tesla here. I bought Tesla because it's had a pretty big, it was at 190s a couple days ago. It's now at 170s. So that's a decent little pullback. It's also red on the year, so we got some extension on the downside there. And so I just think maybe it's a good time to buy, but I might be wrong. GameStop still falling here. Again, the shareholder meeting is today. IBM is mostly software and finance now. I believe I had a job interview with their finance department. Interesting. Again, I just don't know enough about them to really get behind it. If you decide to go vegan, I'm probably not, sir. You know, like I'm probably not going to go vegan. Again, I just think lean meats are such a big part of our ancient ancestors' diets. And to be fair, I don't think it's the meats we're eating now. I think, like, if we're looking at what our ancient ancestors ate, it's probably going to be, like, lean meats like deer, like venison, you know? Stuff like that, like small birds, venison, like, to be honest, bugs. Like, you know, you hear some people like, oh, they're trying to get us to eat bugs or whatever they say as trying to, like... But the reality is, if we look back at, like, okay, you watch these shows, right? You watch, like, Naked and Afraid and all these survivalist shows. What is the first thing people consume when they're desperate, right? What is the first thing humans consume when they're desperate? Bugs, grasshoppers. You know, it's protein heavy. And so because of that, one of the healthier things for humans is probably bugs. Bugs are probably pretty healthy for us to a certain extent. I'm not saying our whole diet should be them, right? But like diversifying and adding some like bug proteins probably not bad for us. Because again, it's something that our body has consumed historically. And that's what's the most healthy for us. The things that are foreign to the human body in terms of like our ancient history, things that, you know, white flour, processed sugar, stuff like that, that's what's bad for us. That's what causes inflammation. So I think that's an interesting way to look at it too. But a lot of people don't like it. They're like, oh, they try to get all upset about it. But again, if you look at what humans consume, bugs are certainly one of them. Anyways, Nvidia bouncing at the volume weighted average price again. Let's see if GameStop can move up. Nvidia is still testing the highs, but it's been so sideways. The reason we are repulsed by bugs should be a sign that we shouldn't be eating them. No, I disagree. I think that's a sign of conditioning. You know, I think if you look at it, right, I think there's a difference between how humans behave now and how humans will behave if they're starving, right? If they're desperately hungry, right? Like the reason we got so many vegans now is because people aren't starving, right? If people were starving, you'd have no vegans. Like nobody would care about being a vegan. I promise. Like the compassion would go away instantly. For like, and that's just the reality of it, right? And it's something that you have to look at objectively. I think same concept if with bugs to a certain extent as well. I think we're just conditioned. Again, I'm not out here eating bugs, but I think it's interesting to see like what human beings naturally would consume outside of like conditioning that we face, but. All right, Nvidia at 133s here, guys, or at 133.50s. Yeah, for sure. 100% legends. They really do. That's what they consume. And again, I'm not judging you. Be whatever you want to be. I think veganism is healthy to a certain extent, but I don't know. There's arguments for and against it. So who knows what the truth is? Well, it depends on the type of caterpillar, but probably the caterpillar, Jay. Right, 100%. I agree. Yeah, so we're down a little bit in equities on the day. Nike is what we're down on the most. We're in Nike. We got 25 minutes until the market opens, chat. About 25 minutes. Again, we'll day trade a little bit more today. Let's play with it. Train song here. Let me see what else we got. Take this off here. Yeah, so I'm gonna pull up Quant Tower. Should work. Alright, so we're gonna, here's trade evade as well. GameStop started to creep up some here. If you had $100 for one trade today, what would you trade? Nothing. I would trade jobs and find something that get me more than $100 because $100 is not enough to trade. And the more you try to trade it, the more likely you are to just lose it. Rather, you know, you got $100, buy a share of a stock or something like that. Or you could try a funded account program if you want to help build like some type of like, you know, funded account program is useful because it ultimately allows you to. Ouch, man. I'm going to swap my headphones out. A funded account program is useful because it ultimately allows you to get started for less. You got to look at it like a challenge, though. Like, you know, you could certainly lose it. And so you got to look at it objectively and understand, like, hey, most day traders lose. But a funded account program, like the base one is like $40. Again, you're probably going to lose because most day traders lose. All right, so that's something I always tell people, that you're probably going to lose. But it's a lot cheaper to lose a funded account program than it is to put up money yourself. Most day traders are going to lose. But on these funded account programs, again, they give you a demo. They test your skill with the demo account. If you could pass the test with the demo, they fund you the same amount between they fund you between 25K up to 300K with a 90% split once you're funded. You get to keep your first 25K in profit as well. But if you lose, the base one's like $40, 40 something bucks. If you use my coupon code link BT. Again, they pay out millions, fund thousands to traders every day. Or fund thousands to traders every month, I mean. But yeah, like here's Apex right here. And so again, you can kind of see, like, again, they give you a demo. The base one's the 25K one. It's only about 40 bucks. So if you pass it, you get about 25K in funding with a 90% split. If you lose, you're only out 40 bucks. You get real-time data, which is a $55 value as well. For the time being, you could also get this one for like 45, 50 bucks, the 250K challenge for the same amount. Again, real-time data included. If you pass this one, you get 250K in funding with a 90% split. And again, Apex is one of the most legit in the world. They pay out an average monthly compensation of over $11 million. They've paid out almost $200 million since 2022. Great way to learn how to day trade with limited risk. But again, most day traders lose. I always try to be honest with people because that's just the truth. Like, most day traders lose. But if you want to check them out, again, I'll put the link up. Yeah, there's the link right there. Nightbot just posted it. Christian, I'm not sure. But again, Nico, most day traders lose, and so that's probably the same here. You'll probably lose here as well. Nothing against Apex or anybody else. Most day traders lose, right? So that's the same here. Most day traders are going to lose there as well. That's just how it goes, you know. And again, in that regard, that's why Apex works, is because it's a lot cheaper to lose on Apex than it is to put 4K up yourself and lose that. But again, they're a sponsor of mine as well. Like, they pay me money, so of course I'm biased because they pay me money, you know. All right, guys, we got 20 minutes. 20 minutes. It's a slow day today, chat. We don't have any economic data really. Tomorrow we got retail sales data, which is good. Look it up. Each one's different, Christian, depending on the account, brother. So just look it up yourself, dude. Just go to the link, go to the site. You'll be able to look it up. See this. All right, so we're basically consolidating here. I'm also looking at Nvidia. Wait, why doesn't it show my positions? Hold on, let me refresh this. I gotta make sure this is the right account. Hold on. I thought I just made 20 bucks. Or I thought I was green. I was red originally. Took privacy mode off. Weird. Orders, positions. Oh, it switched. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know why it switched out of that account. There we go. All right, so this is the right account. Yeah, so this account we are up 20 bucks. Or we're down 20 bucks today, which is fine. Watch Nvidia though. If Nvidia opens up around here, it will be breaking rough lifetime highs today, like roughly lifetime highs. So yeah, we'll see if we get some better continuation here. All right, so good ASMR. Yeah, so I'm over here typing. Honestly, my wife didn't believe I typed 100 words a minute. Uh, any reports looking for this week? Yeah, so this week we have retail sales tomorrow. We got retail sales tomorrow. We also have jobless claims, housing starts, Philly Fed Index Thursday, and then Friday we have service and manufacturing PMI. Do you think it'll be flat for tomorrow? I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't really know. Yeah, so we're gonna day trade at the opening bell in about 15 minutes or so. About 15 minutes. Yeah, so today is the shareholder meeting for Gamestop too, so that might cause some volatility. I might buy this dip here. Yeah, sorry, sorry, I'm over here. I gotta change the stream. There we go. Alright, sorry. There we go. We should be good now. What's up, Jose? Awesome, thank you. Good week. Yeah, so again, we got jobless claims. Wednesday, the day's closed. We still have futures markets are open, so futures markets are still open. But aside from that, everything else is closed Wednesday. Stock market's fully closed Wednesday. Nothing going on there. For Tuesday, we got retail sales. So tomorrow we do have retail sales. We got a lot of Fed speakers speaking. I'm gonna buy this dip, chat. So again, we're gonna buy this dip. You know, I was thinking of how to get around the DCA thing on Apex. I think you could just sell and then re-add, which works. I'm pretty sure it still follows the rules. So you can't add more to losing positions. So like, I like scaling into positions, but the way you do it is just sell and then rebuy, I think. Alright, so there's one contract. We can also add to it. Now we got two contracts here. There we go. We're going to take half off there, lock that in. We're now green on the day. We're going to go ahead and cut that. So now we're up 40 bucks on the day. We were down 20. So we just made $60 on that day trade here. And again, this is the futures market, right? So this is how you day trade futures. Thoughts on PayPal? I like PayPal. I don't know what PayPal is gonna do though. Gold is spiking up a little bit here, and so I like PayPal. PayPal's dipping down. Let me see how long it's been. Yeah, PayPal's down a lot. I might add a little bit to PayPal just for fun here. So yeah, we'll go ahead and add a piece to it. I don't mind PayPal. The 10-day chart looks good. You know, the yearly chart's still red, down a little bit to 60 bucks. I think $60 could act as a support level. I'm not an investment professional, though. I'm certainly not telling anybody to copy me. I have no idea what's going to happen here with PayPal. Do not copy me. Not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose money. Alright, guys. Nvidia testing highs again up there. So look at Nvidia. Nvidia's starting to bounce. Again, it's right around the lifetime high. We got 10 minutes until the open. Yeah, I just bought a little bit of PayPal. Again, my big thing, like one thing that does me really well is like I take very small positions. I trade small. I slowly scale in to something, and if it continues dipping after I'm in it, sometimes I'll either cut it or I'll add more to it and kind of, you know, it's not really DCAing, it's just kind of averaging into it. That's something I do a lot. You know, and so that's kind of what I'm doing here as well. But you know, I will keep adding to PayPal. I think PayPal is always going to have a use case. I do think there's some risk to PayPal long term, though. I think if crypto becomes very cheap to send, you know, you might not need PayPal anymore. You can just send crypto and withdraw, but that depends on how liquid it can be. If, you know, platforms have adoption for like direct to debit and stuff like that, then it's fine. But again, it depends on which, like, it depends on what it is. And yeah. All right, guys, what do you guys think of the open? We got 9 minutes. Hope my dad's out there had a happy Father's Day. Alright, guys, so Tesla bounced up some. So I'm actually technically green on the day now in Tesla. Also, Nvidia just broke lifetime highs. So Nvidia cracked lifetime highs. You can find out about the reports here. But again, tomorrow retail sales at 8:30 Eastern. Today we also have the Gamestop shareholder meeting, which is big. Market opens up in 7 minutes. 7 minutes. We've just kind of been attacking choppiness, which is kind of becoming a large part of my system here. So like a large part of my system has been attacking sideways range, neutral ranges. All right, guys. So all right, guys. Let's see. Market opens. Look at Nvidia dip all the way back down. I'm looking at Tesla. You know, Tesla's now testing the volume weighted average price. We're basically flat on everything. Like, we're up a little bit in day trading. We are down a little bit in equities. What happens if Keith Gill's sitting at the table when the meeting starts for Gamestop? I think it's going to go crazy if that happens, but I think that's pretty low probability here. But anything can happen, you know. You don't think everything is too high? I mean, I think a lot of equities are too high, but again, the only thing I'm buying up are things that are not. Like, again, I'm buying up PayPal, which is down over the last 10 days and down overall, really. I'm buying up Tesla, which is down on the year as well. So, like, yeah, I'm buying up some stuff, but we're also, like, down. We're buying up things that are down mostly. All right, sorry, my wife just came in here. I was talking. I'm already in Intel. I'm not gonna add more to it, to be honest. I'm already in a decent position in it. I'm not gonna add more to it. I think Intel will one day bounce back, but I also think if chips start to fall, then Intel's gonna follow it as well. So, yeah. But I've already bought into Intel with that same logic of my average price is like 3070, so we're basically flat in it. So, yeah, Broadcom AVGO. It's at 1800s. Consolidating back and forth. Nvidia at 133s. Yes, AVGO breaking highs. So yeah, AVGO is up to ridiculous levels. Broadcom Again, I got a guy in jiu-jitsu that likes this stock, and he's always talking about it. And maybe he looks like he was right, man. This thing is flying up to 1800s. I'm assuming they're going to do a split sometime soon, no? I would assume they're going to do a split sometime eventually, you know. All right, so we did get another bounce back in the NASDAQ here. It's not from Nvidia, though. It's Tesla. Tesla pushing up, going green on the day here. So this is Tesla dragging things up. Where's GameStop? GameStop. There's the opening bell here, guys. So we are getting some rebounds and things. Here's GameStop. Again, Tesla is moving up some. All right, so look at this big resurgence at the opening bell here. GameStop tried to break the previous close, get back green on the day. Nvidia is now turning. AMC's flying up more than GameStop is, though. AMC's now up to 515s on the day. Yeah, so AMC, Disney's up as well. So we are moving up some. Again, GameStop up to 28s, 29s. Tesla now turning all the way back down, going red on the day. And Tesla's what's leading the market up too. Look at GameStop. GameStop back up to almost 29s here. Nvidia at 133s now. So now we're dipping all the way back down some here, chat. Tesla now back up, going green again still. Looks like the dip buy was the right time. So again, everything's starting to turn back down though, except for Tesla, which is up a really nice amount. Tesla almost up to 180s this morning. So it looks like that dip we spent on it was the right decision here. GameStop now technically green on the day as well. I'm trying to see what's dragging the market down. I know Apple is up a lot today also here. You know, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit more off of Tesla just because I can. We added some to it. We got really green really fast, and so we're just gonna, you know, take some profit there, I think, just because we got the quick bounce back there, a very fast bounce back. Apple turning down, Nvidia going red. We're watching GameStop and AMC. GameStop just went under the previous closing price. We're going to start to day trade here some as well here, guys. I think I'm going to buy this dip. It's a risky thing because if this starts to turn, it can really turn. But we do have a little cushion we can play with here on the day. And yeah, it's starting to turn. So unless we retrace all the way back up, which we did. Interesting. We're kind of flat on the day now. I don't want to see this act as resistance now, though, so I'm kind of torn. I don't know what I want to do with this. There we go. All right, so we just made some money here. We're up $70. We were patient with it. Look at GameStop go up to 29s here, chat. So GameStop moving up to 29s. Dude, you're so quiet. I mean, we just don't have much going on right now. I'm trying to watch stuff in the background, too. So we're now technically green in equities on the day. A lot of it's driven by Airbnb, which we're in. Is my volume low, chat? Is my volume low? I mean, I'll try to fix it, dude. How about now? Is this better? Let me know if that's better. It should be better. Tesla's still riding up to over $180 a share here. And again, I'm going to buy this dip. We're going to add to this here. See if we can retrace back up fast. And we're just going to get punished, I guess. Alright, we just made money somehow on this trade. Alright, we're out. So yeah, we are up $170 by buying that dip and riding the quick bounce that we got. A very quick bounce. I don't know what's driving this bounce back up. Okay, there we go. I don't know what's driving this bounce back up, but we're up about 170 on the day. We're green in our equities portfolio now as well here. Disney helping us. Airbnb helping us. What is this one? Uber? Is this Uber? Or is this Tesla? Yeah, this is Tesla. So Tesla helping us. So Nvidia helping us too. All right, now we're coming all the way back down. We will buy this back up. We're back in again, green. We got a nice little cushion on the day. We're gonna see if we can scalp this move. All right, so we're scalped out of it. We're up $200 on the day, roughly, about $200. Another one of my sponsors, guys, is a company called Chart Prime. It's a trading view service we can use in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. And again, honestly, you can use it with anything with a symbol on TradingView. So anything with a symbol on TradingView, you can use it on. I always try to back test this live. Look at the market bounce back. Look at Nvidia going green on the day. GameStop still holding green. But yeah, you can use this with anything with a symbol on TradingView, which is really nice because you can use it in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. And again, it's just a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing. Like I always try to show people this live. So like, look, let's just back test this string of things. Like, look, sell signal, follow through, strong buy signal, bounce. Look at the sell signal. It does really well at like predicting tops and bottoms. Like, look at this signal coming in. Look at the strong signals. Just back test the strongest. Follow through, bounce. Sell signal, follow through, drop. Strong signal showed up here. Nice little rip. Sell signal showed up right here. Huge breakdown for hours. Strong buy signal showed up there, and more and more. And so again, it can be a powerful thing. And again, you can use this in stocks, crypto, forex, futures, anything with a symbol on TradingView. You can use it on. I could look at. It's not going to work on everything, right? I could look at Tesla right now and look at Tesla on a 5-minute chart. 5-minute chart is typically my favorite, right? So like again, look at Tesla here. Again, look at Tesla just today and yesterday, or Friday. Number one, you can kind of see the wedge pattern showing up. Look at the buy signal showing up right before the opening bell, or it might have been at the open here. And then look at the follow-through bounce that we've gotten since then. Strong buy signal or strong sell signal, hours. This is a 5-minute chart. So this is like an hour plus of red action. Buy signal showed up here. Nice little follow-through. You can see the wedge that's there, you know. And again, I can kind of keep scrolling back here. Look at this sell signal. Beautiful drops for like half a day. Strong buy signal here. This one maybe didn't work. This one worked. So in Tesla, almost all of these over the last few days worked. Again, anything with a symbol on TradingView, great way to learn how to, you know, see patterns and stuff like that. And again, for the time being, it's only, you get 40% off. So it's like $40 a month. It's very cheap. One good trade can help pay for it. Again, though, they are a sponsor. So I'm biased. They pay me money. So of course I'm biased because they pay me money. But if you want to check it out, here's the link. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. I can't guarantee these are going to work or anything like that. Nobody can. But check them out. So yeah, we're nicely green on the day, chat. We're nicely green. We're getting a nice little follow through there. And again, we're up a couple $100 on the day. All right, guys. So, so we got a dip here. All right, so we do have, again, we're kind of choppy and sideways. Nvidia at 133s, 134s. Now we've kind of turned a little bit. I'm trying to see what's turned. Gamestop going up, still testing the high up there. Nvidia still moving up. Apple bouncing back. Tesla dipping down a little bit here, though. Intel still not going green. Your honesty is so insightful. Well, we try. Top 3 most honest traders all time ever in the world right now. Top 3 worst traders of all time ever in the world as well, though. But yeah. It's a boring day. We just don't have much going on this week. Retail sales are tomorrow, though. So we got retail sales, jobless claims. Every other day this week's pretty busy. Like, we got some stuff going on. So employees at the OCF Coffee House in Philly voted to unionize. 1 week later, all 3 stores closed down, and now they're protesting that closure. Yeah, I mean, look, unions are good. They can be good. They can also be bad, right? Like, it depends on the margins of the business. Like, you can unionize for the really big companies, right? The really big stores like McDonald's, you know, Burger King, stuff like that. Unionize, I'm for it. But if you're doing it to small companies, like small businesses that don't have the best margins, it's gonna hurt a lot of them, you know. It's like you hear people that act like unions are always great, and again, they're just not. You know, it just depends, right? It depends on what company's doing it, or having it done to them, I should say. right, so now we're coming back down. We got kind of choppiness here. We're green on the day, guys. We are green on the day. Again, Disney helping me a lot today, so that's nice. But Tesla riding up some, so that's nice too. Apple green. Nvidia turning all the way down, though. Look at Nvidia. Nvidia's all the way back to the bottom of the range here. I don't know what I want to do, if I want to add more to this or not. You know, I don't think I like anything else here, guys. So listen, hey, check out Apex if you want to day trade with me. We're up about $200. This is a funded account we're up thousands in our other funded account. In this funded account specifically, we are up, I think, like 1,000 in this one. The other one, we're up thousands, right? So yeah, in this one specifically, we are up $814. So we're up almost 1,000 in this one, which is great. You know, which is great. You love to see it. You know, we're up almost 1,000 in this one. And that's great. You know, that's great. The other one, we're up thousands. But again, in Apex, they give you a demo and they test your skill with the demo account first. If you pass the test in the demo, they fund you the same amount. You know, they have demo accounts from 25K all the way to 300K. And if you pass the challenge on the demo, they fund you the same amount. So if you pass this one, you make 1,500 in profit without losing 1,500 first. In futures, they fund you 25K with a 90% split. Real-time data is included. And you can get this one for like 40-something bucks right now if you use my coupon code BT, which again will always get you the max discount. You can always get the 250K challenge for the same price right now. The special deal only lasts, I think, until another day and a half. So, you know, for the time being, you get the 250K challenge for the same price, I think. Right. And again, this sale ends in a day and 14 hours. You can see the timer here. So again, use coupon code BT. The futures market, you could day trade the NASDAQ, which is what the QQQ tracks. You could day trade the S&P, which is what the SPY tracks, in futures, and there's no PDT rule, which is the benefit of it. Again, no PDT rule in futures. Great way to learn how to day trade with limited risk. Again, most day traders lose, and they're sponsors, so of course I'm biased. But again, if you want to check it out, here's the link. I'm going to get out of here. I just don't see much going on today. We got choppiness. We got the shareholder meeting for GameStop later. And again, I'm just going to bow out of here for the day. Tomorrow, retail sales, guys. We got retail sales tomorrow. So we got retail sales. I believe we got the Philly Fed index tomorrow. Okay, so no, tomorrow we have retail sales, industrial production, capacity utilization, business inventories, and a bunch of Fed speakers. All right, Thursday we've got the Philly Fed index and jobless claims. Friday we got flash services PMI. But yeah, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Y'all be good. Love you all. Y'all have a great day. We're up small. The market's choppy. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all be safe.